He is talking about some crazy stuff. I think these are supposed to be from 2010, and he called himself W. But anyway, they never invited him back. It was some Christians that he was talking to, and they weren't, I don't know, the host seemed like he was being positive, but I think either they didn't get it or they didn't like what he said or both. But anyway, they never invited him back. But something he said in this, it says in part one, Juan discusses how our soul is not co-located in our physical body, but is an avatar from outside time, space, using torsion physics. Okay, what have we been talking about on this channel? I swear stuff comes up right after I either see it or come across it or somebody on the channel does. So I had been seeing that person I was doing a healing session on. I saw them when I took down the cube and the atom structure around them, that spirograph looking structure, and then the, what do you call it? The Merkaba around them. I went to their body in a pod and I was like, God, it's like the Avatar movie. And here he is talking in these videos about how our soul is not located in the physical body, but we're connected to it. And so everything's happening from outside. Anyway, the way he all says it, it's everything I've been drawing on this channel and trying to get across. And it's just really interesting because I never heard of these videos. Carrie Cassidy just shared them in her Telegram. She just found them and she said she thinks they're from 2010, but she's not sure. So I just thought that was super interesting. It was like some confirmations on stuff that we've been getting, and it was an odd topic for him to be covering. And I know he's warned before that this is a war that we have to win. It's a battle between humans and AI, and that we cannot lose this. So anyway, so I want to get into some stuff. I woke up with the word eternity or eternal in my mind, eternal. And I was like, what is this? And I had, okay, you know, I'm weird and I don't even care anymore. I just say whatever. But I had, let me see, I'm trying to find a new share here. We'll just leave him up for the moment. Whitney Houston in my head singing, and I had talked about her before, that I feel like she sold her soul, and I had said that there was a special place in hell for these souls of the people that sold their soul, meaning there's a special place in the hell realm, H-E-L. I had talked about that at length, and with mythology, and that we are all in realms and that we are in the hell realm, but there's a section of this hell or this realm for the people that deliberately sold their souls, and that they keep getting put back into bodies. So they create another avatar or physical body for them, whatever, and they shove them in it, and they're all happy. They're like, oh, I get to live out my life again. Oh my gosh. And they get to become famous and whatever, and have these like incredible highs, and then they get yanked out, and then a demon or whoever takes over and gets to enjoy their celebrity status and their fame, and or live their life or whatever. And they get pulled in and out, I think. And this is why the person starts to do drugs and just totally change. Their music changes, or their personality changes. All these things happen. So I think these particular souls get put in, out like that. And then they get eventually just pulled out completely and taken out like she was. And then they're waiting around who knows how long for another chance to go in a body. But anyway, she was singing the song in my head. So she was like just belting that out, like, I will see eternity, I will be free, like I'm finally free, but she's really not. That's what they do to them. And she has been screaming at me to get her free. And it's like, honey, I ain't got time. I haven't even like fully done anything with my family. I mean, I have clients I have to take care of. I don't have time to go after people that sold their soul, as much as I feel bad for you. But anyway, this leads to something. So that eternity and eternal, and it was like eternal. You need to look up eternal. Like I could just feel it in me. Like, look up that word. What does it mean? What does it mean? And so I looked up Eter, which to me is like ether, and null. What do these mean? Looking up eternal or eter or ether, which is also spelled A-E-T-H-E-R, ether, also called luminiferous ether. In physics, a theoretical universal substance believed during the 19th century to act as a medium for transmission of electromagnetic waves. Examples, light and X-rays, much as sound waves are transmitted by elastic media such as air. The ether was assumed to be weightless, transparent, frictionless, undetectable chemically, etc. All right, so Eter, E-T-E-R, from eternal. In Sanskrit, Eter means having no beginning or end, infinity, a half radius of a circle or half a circle, not born. So I'm thinking in terms of like this whole illusionary world that we live in here. This is not the greatest picture of an infinity symbol, but it is what it is. So endless time or eternal time is time loops. You loop forever. So having no beginning or end, infinity, half of a radius of half a circle, not born, eter in Sanskrit, eternal abode, heaven. Remember I said you go through this when you go to heaven and then you flip back in. To go to one's eternal home, cease, like to cease to exist, vanish, perish, die, bleed, leak, deteriorate. To pronounce a word wrongly, to plan, design, intention, determine. So this is a predetermined world, a matrix, an AI world. Eter. It's describing what we're in, eter, eternal. A vow of eternal chastity, a bad doctrine. One who has accepted a heterodox doctrine. A great cemetery, a place for burning the dead, determined to die, death inevitable, it must be died, D-I-E-D, perpetuity, and I'm thinking of perpetual rest, go to your perpetual rest, AKA never-ending death. Sorry, I'm doing this to you again with the Sanskrit. I haven't done this in a while. So bear with me. Eter also means to commit, to bury, to put down, to rest, to end, to close. Has to do with fortune telling, being able to predict what's already foretold. So if we're on just a loop, the time loop, you can predict what's going to happen, right? Because it's predictable. Get it? Predictable. Groundhog Day. All right, eter also means to hold back the breath, restrain, to grant, offer, govern over, restrict food, destroy, annihilate, suppress, the place of the departed, a cemetery, to cut on both sides, make round. So to cut on both sides, to make round, mutilate, to limit on all sides, decide, determine, separate, divide. This is a world of separation because it's a false world. Chronic, one who asserts the eternity of atoms, A-T-O-M-S, but also atoms, A-D-A-M-S, us, atoms. One who asserts the eternity of atoms. And I saw that that atomic shape around each of us inside the cube. All right, defiled, polluted, fall. So the fall of man, the fall, the hell realm, right? To make a person perform anything, to make, produce, accomplish, perform. These are all words of a false reality, the copying and mimicking. Achieve, effect, to gain, win, conquer, to serve, honor, worship incessantly, to promise fulfillment of a person's word, to promise verily or truly, which made me think of like a Bible passage, verily I say unto thee, to assert the eternity of sound, a tube, a kind of catheter, anal, because if you think of null, eternal is anal, and a tube like the soul tube having us plugged in, kind of catheter, probably connected in, connected in and plugged in to this whole thing through all the chakras and everything. All right, sound, noise, voice, tone, note, put in order, arranged. That's a fake world where you arrange everything, put it in order, linear. When you put something in order, it's left to right or right to left or whatever, but it goes in a line. To mow or reap corn. To reap corn. I thought that was interesting because a lot of people have compared us to corn. Warning, altered purpose, malignant evil demon. This is all ether. Titans or relentless enemies of the gods. Imps, fiends, goblins, devouring and sacrificing humans. Devouring and sacrificing humans. Determine disease. So basically determining what disease will be. Utter a sound. The long eternal sleep. To be made to sleep. To be put to death. A 1,000-headed serpent. An elevated place for burning dead bodies. Cremation, burnt corpses, which, as I said, we're in the hell realm, H-E-L. Eternal words of holy sages. The earth's disk in computing eclipses. The earth's disk, which is flat, disk, in computing, what's computing? AI. Not a natural world, computing eclipses. Factitious poison, narcotic, any deleterious drug, distinct nature of 9 substances, fire, earth, air, water, mind, and atomic. They're all atomic. The ether is the sky, time, space, soul, light. Okay, so now I looked at null, which is interesting because a lot of things came up for that. A company for lithium mining, which made me think, isn't it lithium batteries in the electric cars that China manufactures? There was a lot of different companies that came up for null. But anyway, null is a faucet, tube, or tap, a reed, R-E-E-D, a demon. Null is sustainable agriculture, livestock. And nald is a synthetic insecticide used in farming. And up here in Eter, it said to not feed us, to restrict food or destroy. Now also is a name of an aircraft, a spacecraft, labs that have to do with electromagnetism. And then it listed all the words connected to null, penal, renal, tonal. So this is sound again, renal, penal, venal, which is veins, zonal, and analog, anally or anal, and the annals with two N's, atonal canals, carnal, clonal, like clones, finale, grand finale, finals, hymnal, like a hymnal that you use in church, nalids, which is plural of now, nalids. We already talked about that. And signal, spinal, urinal, and vinyl. So just interesting to me. And it also means to bind or confine. All right, so let's move on to something else here. So I had a questionnaire I was going to ask about celebrities, the ones that they kill off. I kind of feel like they're refusing to do a sacrifice or something. I'm not sure about that, but I do feel like the ones that get to stick around are graduating to higher privileges or whatever, or they're aliens taking over their bodies and stuff. But let's move on here to this. I have some things. I don't know if I want to read this whole thing because it says something about the violet flame. So, and the amethyst order. So I don't like that right off the bat. So I don't know if I'm going to read this part. I'm going to skip it. It was something somebody wrote, and I thought it was interesting. Then I was like, wait a minute here. It is talking about the humans. They're creating a new bodysuit called Human 3.0. They're killing off the old human body that's no longer working for them. I don't know if that's really true. I haven't read on any of this to see. But anyway, in underground labs, they're supposedly creating a new bodysuit, Human 3.0. And they're going to force all souls who cannot get free of Earth's gravity back into the reincarnation cycle and into these newly created and very machine-like bodies. Again, problem solved for the cabal. So this is all stuff we've been talking about with people taking the shots and stuff. And then they were trying to turn even those of us that didn't synthetic on the whole transhuman thing. So I'm going to skip all this. I'm just scanning it real quick to see if there's anything else. So that was from the Amethyst Order, the Christos collectives. I'm not going to read that. I don't talk to any beings, especially violent flame stuff. So I'm just going to share some other random stuff that I had and see what we got here just to finish this up. So I was hoping you found that interesting with eternal. If you put those meanings of null with Eter, it's pretty interesting. All right, so no longer a conspiracy theory, chemtrails, geoengineering, CIA director is talking about it, at the Council of Foreign Relations, whatever. Abraxas. Does anybody remember what I saw this? I thought it was written on the head of a being, or I saw it somewhere above a being when I was working on somebody and doing removals. And I don't remember what I saw exactly, but I found all this stuff, so I saved it, and then now I've totally forgotten all of it because I never shared it. Maybe I shared all this already. I don't know. But Abraxas also is the sun, the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail thing, the goddess, Egyptian goddess Isis, blah, blah, blah. Abraxas, a god higher than the Christian god and the devil. It's the master of all initiates or skymen. He is the astral serpent on the tree who hands the illumination of both good and evil to Adam and Eve, whose eyes then are then opened. The very king worm, the very king worm who rules this world, that is both creator and destroyer. Yeah, of a creator and destroyer. I wouldn't call you a creator, a copier maybe of a fake, stupid AI world. The king worm. That about sums it up. Here's Abraxas, more stuff. The Gnostic name for the demigod who rules the 365th highest and final aeon or sphere, ascending to the unknowable God. Christian demonologists put Abraxas in the ranks of demons. Abraxas also is the name of a sun mounting on an Ouroboros. Okay, so I don't know if I just read that same thing or not. But anyway, let me flip through the rest of these, see if there's anything else.